Happening, troops, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Simply podcast. Thank you so much for the support in the last episode. Obviously, the last episode was the first one I've done in a wee while, so I do really appreciate all the effort that's gone on to make boost that video up and all the clips and how well they've done. So thank you so much for all the support there. We've really gained some traction and subscribers as well, which is really good to see. Today I have a co-host. I do indeed. I have a co-host, somebody that I have tried to get previously, and there's just been changes in schedules, and it's been kind of hickety-pickety. His name is none other than, well, he goes by Remy, but also known as Michael. How are we today, Remy?
You know what? It's actually weird for me hearing you say Michael. I've known you for what 6, 7 years now, and it's probably about a handful of times you've ever said my actual name. So just call me Remy. It freaks me out, man.
Well, yes. Team. Remy doesn't have really any socials for you to follow on, but he will get some. He has promised me in the future, which is a topic we're going to be discussing today. Because today's podcast is going to be maybe a bit more of a controversial one. We're going to be talking about some topics that are kind of a little bit out there. We're going to be talking about some hefty topics, our opinions on all of these. And obviously,
Like the kind of things that make you think.
exactly, yeah. The things that obviously are like stuff that are discussed every now and then, but also can potentially have controversial opinions associated with them. So, yes, team, make sure that you do let us know in the comments your thoughts on any of these that we discuss in the podcast today. And if you are listening on Spotify, Apple Music, your Nan's TV, make sure you do check us out on YouTube as well. You will see our lovely faces. Well, my lovely face and Remy's mug. So you. Yes. I mean, I've got a better beard. So.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, you'll have better guitars, right? I'll give you you've got better guitars.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one guitar and it's in the loft that I've never used and I've never learned to play.
I honestly never, all this time, never knew you had any musical inclination.
I mean, I used to play the
thought
piano.
You were tone deaf. Really?
Yeah, used to play
I never
piano.
knew that. I genuinely thought you were tone deaf.
Yeah, we used to have a piano downstairs and got to.
Yeah, but could you actually play it?
Yeah, I got to fourth grade. I can't remember. There was like so like could play it enough to play like Jingle Bells and stuff like that, but not much else, to be honest. So
when everybody's blocked at Christmas, that's the time when you want to whip them out.
Yeah, mate. We used to do these years ago. We used to do these kind of dinners. My dad liked to go all out for Christmas dinners. Do like 5-6 courses.
Yeah, your brother sent me photos of it in the past.
Yeah, so
just a massive table of food.
Yeah, so it was like we would invite the uncles, aunts, everyone round. There'd be like about 11, 12 of us round these two tables, and Dad would do a menu and stuff like that. And of course, I was straight on that piano the first opportunity I got, because everyone sits down at the table and you're waiting for the food to come because it's all getting dished up. So you've got that kind of 5-minute spell to really shine,
this is my moment. I've been building up for this.
I might as well have just jumped to the table and gone, see,
Oh, not Ronaldo. Let's not bring him up.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I might as well done that because obviously it's a moment to shine in it. So yeah, of course I think I only really took it maybe twice I could think of to play that, because my sister was really the one that really knew how to play the piano. She really went and she did it for like our qualifications and all that. So yeah, but yes, team, today we have some topics to cover. We have some interesting ones that I really would like your opinions on as well. So make sure you do pop them in the comments. Today I'm actually the first one we're going to cover is one that I've already kind of mentioned, the fact that Remy doesn't have any social media footprint, to be honest. So the first one is social media a benefit to society? Do you agree, strongly agree, disagree? What are your opinions on that one, Remy?
See, I sort of sit somewhere on the fence with it. Like, obviously, I don't have a big social media footprint at the minute. That will change when I start streaming and like probably do more podcasts with you.
Wow, self promo.
But it's a thing. On one hand, I do think that the cons outweigh the pros, because you see what way society goes, and people lean into too much, where their life is almost like dominated by it. I understand, but there are the pros of, like, you and I would never have met if it wasn't for the likes of like social media, like
Some might
gaming,
debate
like
that's a pro, some might debate that's a con, you know.
it's a con, mate.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
well, Andy, so
yeah, well, yeah. He's a character.
because
So
because obviously you're a content creator. Like, where do you stand on it?
I mean, obviously, like I see the benefits. Like careers are made from it. My brother's obviously made a career through it.
Yeah.
You know, it's got so much potential with it. It does have its dark side, but I genuinely think that most things can only be defined on how good they are, depending on how big their dark side is. Sometimes, like
Mm,
you've got like you look at, for example, you look at the like Elon Musk situation with Twitter. You know,
mm,
he is a very controversial figure and what he is, but he could also potentially make Twitter amazing and a really good place to be. Like his blue tick verification thing, at first everyone think, oh, it's a money grab, but this could actually be the start of preventing a lot of bots, a lot of
trolls essentially,
trolls. Yeah,
where a lot of the dark side of Twitter
because
comes
you've
from.
got to pay to be a part of that. So like you
Mm.
can switch on Twitter right now. You pay for the blue tick. You can just see other people with blue tick. You can choose not to see anything else. And that is
I
actually
like that.
see that's where I was looking at it from the other perspective, because immediately when it first came in, I was like, no, it's not for me. But the fact that you have that function, actually, you know what? This is actually quite a good thing. You can immediately cancel out anyone that's, you know, the racism, sexism,
Mm,
all these kind of things that are infested in social media.
mm.
Like you can cancel them out straight away by just paying. Yes,
But
okay,
I don't.
yeah, on you go.
Are you on about like canceling them out in terms of like you don't want to see them, or canceling them out in terms of like getting? Because while I that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm not on social media, because I just don't want to see all of that crap.
Mhm.
I don't have the patience for it.
I mean,
But
don't get me
there
wrong.
is a
Like,
without the evil, you
mhm.
don't have the good. Like
Yeah,
you do need the balance with that.
you do you have an iPhone?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So do you get the notifications on how much screen time you've had?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think what
that's one of the
four
negatives
and
for
a half
me.
hours a week.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
average.
That's one of the negatives, because social media does, like, the amount of times I find myself scrolling TikTok, scrolling Twitter, just aimlessly wasting time that I could be doing other things.
Can you remember what your last average screen time was for the week?
I could probably find it, to be honest with you. Just while
Because
we're on this. I mean, if I can find the app, I'll do it. But
like I normally sit between like a 2 and 4 hours a week, but a lot of that is work related. Because like as I said to you before
mhm.
we started, if you're streaming, I would rather pop you on the TV and have my phone just for the chat and stuff like that. Because I'm not really a big fan of like investing so much time in on a device like a phone. Whereas like I could be consuming content through the TV that I paid a lot of money for, through the laptop that I paid a lot of money for. This you pay a lot of money for a phone these days, but it's just that's more for work for me now, especially being in management. I kind of like because my phone's constantly lighting up.
Mhm.
I want to get away from the phone now.
Yeah, to be fair, my screen time last week isn't too bad because of my job now. So my job,
Mm.
obviously, I'm behind the computer screen and I'm on calls, so I don't particularly look at my phone. It's actually only 2 hours now.
Oh, that's better than mine was for last week.
Yeah. So it's a lot better than what it was. I mean, I know previously when I was working and I had to use my phone, it was significantly higher, like 7-8 hours a week
Mm.
spent on my phone. So yeah, it was a little bit better there. But yeah, that's one of the drawbacks, because obviously you can aim it, you really go down the rabbit hole, and you're literally there, and before you know it, an
That's
hour's
actually
gone.
something I found myself doing recently with because normally I would just like consume regular content on YouTube, like videos and stuff like that. I find myself going down the rabbit hole of just like going through YouTube Shorts, just constantly going through them,
So
and I don't.
you don't have TikTok, so this is something that you've just discovered. This was back when TikTok first proper boomed. This was one of the problems, and same with Vine as well. Have you ever had Vine?
Mm. No, I didn't have. I skipped out all that stuff. I just didn't find it interesting
Hmm.
because like what I've a lot of like because you send me a lot of funny things
Yeah.
like from TikTok, like, and there is a lot of like genuine good content out there,
Hmm.
but I don't like having to sift through like 40 40 TikToks of like just trash content, like genuine trash content, like miming over somebody else's good content is not content. Like miming over somebody else's joke is not content. That's talentless.
Yeah.
Like be creative, be
Like I
original.
don't know how I feel about it. Like, so you see a lot on like TikTok and that, and it's like people clipping like Gary V, and they're like taking his inspirational quotes, and they're posting it on their own pages. Like there was a video I watched not long ago where a guy took nothing but Gary V clips, posted it nothing but for 30 days to see what kind of growth he shot, and he really
So he's just like the Morgs of TikTok.
yeah, he's literally stealing all this content. He's literally taking it all, and none of it is really his own. However, he is editing it and he is producing it, and like
So that falls under fair use because it's transformative.
yeah, well, I believe he actually got copyright striked on a couple of them because obviously Gary V does own the content that he's.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't own all of it. It's actually some of it is based on other platforms or on like podcasts and stuff like that, so they could be copyright striked. So although he gained like 30,000 views on like some of the shorts and stuff like he did, you know, he didn't actually own it. So they realistically he couldn't attain it that way. But yeah, so yeah, they like TikTok and that it's great, and honestly, I do enjoy going through it. And obviously, I've just recently started streaming on it myself. Like, obviously, doing the free platforms.
Because you stream simultaneously via Simply Spud on the YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok.
Yeah, and like, you know what? See, if you're not already subscribed, you should subscribe right now. So
he's a good lad. Makes some good content.
Absolutely, I am amazing. Follow me now. Peasants. So
well, I mean, I'm Irish, so I have to. He's a spud. I mean, it goes hand in hand, so it's his fault really.
Yeah, if you don't grab it now, you know there could be another famine. You know, it's just like it's just.
Fair play. You know what? If you make me laugh, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I do love a bit of dark humor, and as long as you make me laugh with it, anything's okay with me.
Yeah, no, it's. I literally thought of it there. I was like, oh, do I say it? Do I not say it? I was like, oh, I'll be fine.
I'm happy you did.
Yeah. So yeah. So obviously we've discussed social media. I mean, personally, my opinion, I mean, like, is social media a benefit to society? I absolutely say so because I feel the benefits far outweigh the negatives. And I do feel we're getting to a stage now where the negatives are slowly declining. Like the trolls in particular was one of the biggest issues. Like trolls became a horrific problem, and I do feel we're getting to the end of that.
Because I'm not hearing as much negative about it as I used to. Like because I used to be on social media. Like I used to have Instagram, Twitter, and all this, but I deleted them all.
Yeah.
Like just before like the big boom of all the trolls and stuff like that, because I seen where it was going, and I just didn't want to be in that kind of environment. Like for personal reasons with my mental health, I didn't want to submit myself to that because I could only see it going bad. But if it's genuinely going in the right direction, especially since I want to start streaming and like creating content, like I will have to inevitably step back into that world.
Yeah.
Like, so the pros are starting to outweigh the cons now.
Yeah.
Because I have a very like biased view of it because of how much disdain I had for it.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely, and yeah. So on the social media thing, yeah, it's a benefit. Well, I think we've talked that one to death. So we'll get we'll get another one on the board. So
hit me with another one, big boy.
Right, this one's a big one, right? It's you must be funnier than your partner. So your boyfriend, girlfriend, you must be funnier. Do you agree?
I am very happy that my partner is currently at work right now.
Oh,
I absolutely have to be funnier than Gotcha. I have to be. It's my entire personality is just a joke. I am a walking, talking joke of a human.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like I wouldn't be in the relationship if Gosha couldn't make me giggle. Like,
yeah.
She comes out with crackers and like she does have like a proper dark sense of humor like amongst like the dad jokes, so we do bounce off each other rather well. But no, I have to be funnier. I just have to be. There's no contest. I'm funnier.
Like Does my partner need to
I'm
be
gonna
faster
I'm
than?
gonna get a I'm gonna get a slap for this when she sees this.
Well,
You realize that, right? You've thrown me under the bloody bus here, mate.
oh, well, it's fine. It's fine. You're in Ireland. I'm in Scotland. It doesn't really matter. So, I mean, does my partner need to be funnier than me? I mean, this could be somewhat downplaying my own humor because I'm currently single. So realistically, if I agree with this, realistically, what does that say about my humor? So it's you know what? I'm not strongly disagreeing, but I do disagree slightly.
Mm.
Like, cause for just purpose, I'm not staying on the fence. I'll go either agree or disagree, and I think I'm ever so slightly disagreeing on this, and it's only just because I feel like if it's clicking, it doesn't really matter. But
see, I will agree with you on this. Like, I still hold my opinion. Like, I strongly agree with it that I have to be funnier.
yeah,
But I agree with you on the sense that it depends on the relationship. It
yeah,
entirely depends on the individuals.
I feel like so. Like, here's another question for you on this one: is this only because we're men?
Oh, oh,
Like-
absolutely. No, absolutely.
Right. So
My
if-
ego needs this.
yeah. So if I had asked a woman or like, you know, in any particular, you know, orientation, this it might have been a lot more kind of disagree, agree. Like, it would have been a bit more of a mix. I think when you ask men this, it does tend to be strongly agree. Not saying that's the same thing
See,
for everyone.
I've got
but-
an interesting. This might be a bit personal for you, but because it definitely like, it definitely is for me.
Yeah.
Do you tie your humor to your self-esteem? Because I absolutely do. With my ability to make somebody laugh is very much tied to my like not self-worth, but like my like how I value my personality.
Yeah, I can see what you mean by that because, like, you know, I did try stand-up comedy briefly, and like, I really I refer to that moment quite vividly as one of the like kind of highlight, like one of my highlight. If I was to die tomorrow, it'd probably be one of the things I would refer to in my kind of flashback reel. And like, because I'm performing in in front of 200 people. And yeah, that would be one of the things on my highlight reel is that. So when you're saying about that being linked to self-esteem, yeah, I can definitely see it. I don't know if I fully agree, but I definitely can see it and I can understand that. I do feel like there's a lot more.
I don't know how much people like. I don't know if this is a guy thing or like wherever you like identify on the spectrum of identities. I don't know if this is a primarily masculine. That's a better way to say it. I don't know if this is a primarily masculine thing, but most guys I know would like they do like try to always be the funny guy, especially if there's like if you ever notice like especially when guys are more masculine people or are hitting on slightly less masculine people, they always try to throw in their humor. So is it just a boisterous thing tied to masculinity?
Look, I'm maybe like a solid 6, right? To get me to
you've got a good beard. Give your 6.5. You got a good beard.
Yeah, like, you know, to get myself to 7 or 8, I need humor in there. You know what I mean? So like, I need to be funny as something.
See, I think I'm a solid 4, but my humor and personality and confidence bring me up to like a 7.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's I get what you say. I think it's more about, for me, it's more about making people. I associate, instead of necessarily making them laugh, it's about making them giving a
happy.
Good impression and happy. Yeah, for me, that's more.
That's a better
way
to phrase it.
Yeah, like I wouldn't necessarily. It's about being funny. I mean, like, we've kind of diverted away from the thing a little bit, but would I need to be funnier than my partner? I mean, it would be nice, but it's not an absolute must for me. And I think it's like I would maybe even be in a slightly disagreement if they were funny. See, if I was dating a comic, like, you know, I'm not gonna win that.
Well, you think this because like I know some comedians.
Yeah.
In person, they're boring.
I mean,
on stage, they're a delight, but in person, they're so dead.
I mean,
it's horrible.
Fairness, I would maybe describe myself as that slightly, like, because like on camera, yeah, absolutely, I'll perform, I'll do whatever. I mean, in fairness, on stage as well. In fairness, in person, I'm usually up for most things.
I don't know. I reckon off because I've seen you on both, and I've seen you do both for years. And like I think you're funnier off camera.
Potentially. very, very,
Yeah.
very, very potential. Like, I'm not saying no Taylor, but like,
But you and I do share a very similar kind of sense of humor when it comes to like
Mhm.
the dad jokes side of things.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Is like some of the people that I used to work with would be able to testify to this. Like, obviously, like on my previous work, I was maybe known as kind of quite funny, but more in the kind of
Dry
conventional,
ad-libby.
yeah, dry, yeah, like
Yeah.
that sense. So yeah, yeah, like go back to the topic. I'm trying to stay to that if we can. Am I like doing like yeah? I'm kind of in the slight disagreement. You're in the strong
I'm
agreement.
strong agreement, absolutely strong
Strong,
agreement.
strong.
I need to be funnier funnier than Gosha. Self validation. That I validate myself based off of my ability to make people laugh.
I'm gonna post this on Instagram and she'll see it. It'll be a
She's
clip.
gonna watch the. She's gonna watch this.
Yeah. So there you go then. Right. Okay, we're going to the next one. Now, okay, we're staying with partners in this one.
Okay.
Now this one was asked in the assignment. I'm going to take away a part of it, right? Because the assignment one was it's okay to cry in front of your partner.
Yeah, they said if you're physically hurt.
Yeah,
That changes the
yeah,
question.
when you've hurt, but like I'm just gonna say it's okay to cry in front of your partner.
I don't agree or disagree because I
You
consider
have to.
myself.
You can't stay on the fence. You have to go
Oh,
one
can I
way.
not? Oh
No.
shit.
You have to go one side.
I will have to agree. I don't like the idea of it because I consider myself to be a quite
I'm
stoic
fair. I
person.
don't think anyone likes the idea of having like of crying in front of their partner, but like
because of my background in psychology, like I'm always the one people come to
mhm,
for advice and for help. So I don't like showing that sense of vulnerability to people
mhm.
in terms of like showing my own personal pain. So, but I have to agree for the sense that like for a healthy relationship, you have to be able to show the hurt in front of them. You
Yeah,
just have to.
like something that well, a lot of people might don't know of it off camera, particularly when I was younger, right? I like it didn't take much, and I was greeting like generally like you could
Oh,
I,
baby Spud was a Gurner.
oh mate
Sorry,
mate
so was I.
mate
It's okay. So was I. That's okay.
it would take nothing at all for me to start
And I was
greeting.
crying in the principal's office. I mean, I was the one that beat up the other kid, but I was the one crying about it.
Oh dearie me, man! Like do I incriminate myself right now?
Do it
So
for the content.
right, okay, a little story time here, right? So years ago, right, I got caught shoplifting in Asda.
You scoundrel!
Like when I was I should add this is when I was 12, so yeah, I'm past 16 now. It's all irrelevant.
Yeah.
So
Statute of limitation, man.
yeah. So when I was 12, you know, I got caught stealing. And the thing I got caught stealing was absolutely hilarious. I got caught stealing a pick and mix.
Oh, you basic bitch!
Yeah, but that's that's not even like the worst part of it, right? So I filled the bag up, right, and then dished it out to my pals in the Asda cafe, right, and then tried to leave. And
you kind of deserve to be caught.
Yeah, like when I think back at it, I'm just like, you are so stupid, right? And what was it? This was during the lunch break we had at the time because the school was right next to this Asda and stuff like that. And
As adult Spud looking back, I'd be a much better criminal now.
yeah, just thinking of all the things I should have done instead. Yeah, no, yeah, it's so yeah, I dish out all these things in the cafe, and as I walk out, the security guard comes up to me and he says, you know, stop right there and stuff like that. And he then lets all the pals that I was with go, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. The moment like they let them all go, and he was saying why he stopped me for, like my eyes were like streaming the rivers all of a sudden. My arse completely collapsed. Like I had no bottle whatsoever. Like, and then I was even worse than that. I was selling out all my pals. I was like, you've let the real guys go. They're all
you snake.
I was snaking them all. I was like,
the reason there's no snakes in Ireland is because you got rid of them, you prick.
Like I was literally like, no, it's all there.
You were that kid in school.
Yeah, I was blaming everyone else for my mistakes. So yeah, and then obviously I got caught, and they took me to the security office. But I think because I was in such a state, they pretty much just said, yeah, he's learned his lesson. And my mum came to pick me up. She was less than happy about it, to say the
I mean,
least.
I get the feeling like your mum's old school Scottish. Like you got the belt.
I mean, no.
Irish mums are a different level, mate.
Yeah,
we get the tin whistle in the hangar.
Like that wasn't what, but no, it was yeah, it was not a good time to be home. Put it that way.
Wasn't good to be spud then.
No, it wasn't, and it was, oh dear. What made it worse, right, is see the guys that I sold out as well, right? Because after they already left the shop, right, I found out afterwards that they went into the class afterwards and started shouting the fact I got lifted. So they were all.
I mean, did you wear that as a badge of honor? Like you get a standing ovation when you came back?
I mean, no, I'm not exactly all of a twist, mate. Yeah, no, that
was standing at the pick and mix. Please, sir, can I have some more?
Oh dear, man, it was yeah, it was so yeah, like I was greeting that. I don't even know why I told you because that's not even relevant to the question, to be honest. Like
just incrimination,
just incriminating myself on camera. So yeah, it's okay cry for your girlfriend. I mean,
no, absolutely.
I would say
I don't like it. Based off like just who I am as a person, I don't like it, but I feel like again, I tie this to like whole like being like a man thing. Like if you're considered a bloke and you say, oh no, I would never do it. Like no, you're talking crap. No, like you have to be able to be open and vulnerable in front of your partner. You just have to be. Otherwise, it's not a relationship worth being in.
Yeah, like. I agree. It's like if you can't see each other at your worst, then realistically, I mean,
you shouldn't have each other at the best.
Yeah, I was trying not to be too Instagram real inspirational kind of Disney, but it's kind of how the way it was going anyway, wasn't it? So yeah.
Oh, I was going there.
Yeah. So yeah, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. Yeah, so okay, we'll move on to another one. We'll come away from that a little bit, actually.
Are we leaving the partners? Can you stop throwing me under the bus?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, it's like talking about healthy relationship. Gosh, it's just beating you up right now. Yeah, Remy's gonna come on the next podcast with free black eyes. I don't even know how he's got free black eyes, but he's managed it somehow. I
mean, she's Polish. She can throw a punch.
There you go then. So yeah, okay, but this one, if you find money on the ground, it's yours.
Are you finding it in a wallet or is it just loose money?
It's just loose money. You've just found
loose money. So that's yours. Yeah. I grew up in Belfast, mate. Times are hard. you find a flim, like a flim's like slang for like a tenner. It's like you or your score notes, so that's like £20. You find £20, 10. You find a couple notes on the ground. That's free game. That's free real estate.
Like I know legally, right? You're supposed to. I mean, I've just shared my sketchy past. So, but I know.
I hand it in to the police. Of course, I would never do such a thing. I would never take the money, Spud.
Yes, but like, I know legally you're supposed to, anything over £1, you're supposed to. I mean, I don't know who the hell is going to the police station with £1. I've just found this on the floor. They're going to tell you.
Just find 50p, mate.
Yeah, and you got to wait for someone to claim it. I mean, I don't know what's worse, right? Like going to the police station with £1 or the person who collects the £1. Like, you know, it's can you imagine that conversation?
The person who collects the £1 is the worst one.
Yeah, because it's like you're going into the police station just going, I've dropped my £1. Like, come on, pal. Right? Realize it was worth the journey for £1? Like, come on.
But if you find money in a wallet, like, no, I'm turning that shit in. Like, that gets turned in. I'm a decent enough person that I know right from wrong. But if it's free money... Like,
I mean, if they've got 10 grand in that wallet, you know, they're not going to miss a few notes.
I mean, they're not going to miss a few hundred. I mean,
it's their own fault for having 10 grand in a wallet, to be honest.
I mean, contactless, mate.
For clarity,
I'm handing in your wallet. You owe me a Domino's.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And
Yeah.
like, but like like theoretically, you hand it in, and after 24 hours, if it's not claimed, then it's yours. Um,
Mm.
so I believe that's how the law works. If I find 20 quid on the ground, like it's in the middle of the street, no one's about, I can't see anyone who's dropped it, then
Well, that would make adoption really fucking easy.
like I would probably give if I've seen the person drop it, I'll go hand it to them. Absolutely, because I would
I
feel
don't know. How far up the street are they when they drop
like well,
it?
they've got to be an eye view at least that you've seen that they've dropped it.
Nah, man. If they're a good like 10 meters ahead of me, and I see like no, if they're like at the other end of the street, and because I've got really good vision, like if I see somebody drop money at the top of the street, I don't need to. I'm going the other direction. I don't need to go there, but I'm walking there to pick up that
Yeah,
money. I'm showing my Belfast now.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. You're bricking
uh,
the tires and slashing the windows, aren't you? So
Molotovs.
yeah, so it's yeah. If I see them drop it, I'll give it to them. Right? I'll be honest with that. But if I find it in the street and I don't see anyone or I know who's dropped it, I'm probably gonna take it. I don't got ideas. Like if it's 20, 30, 40 quid on the floor. I mean, don't get me wrong. If it's like a lot of money, like
That's a carry out.
say if I see a roll of money and it's like 10 grand in that, right? Then realistically, I can't explain that that just gets deposited in my bank. So I would have to take that to the police.
I mean, that's only if you deposit it. Taxman ain't gotta know. Always declare all money earned to the taxman. I'm not advocating this. Do not check my history. I'm a good person.
Yeah. Yeah, HMRC's just bringing up Remy tomorrow. Just go ahead. It's got to be like that FBI be. Boom, 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 boom.
I actually had to fight HMRC before because back when I was self-employed, they tried
Fight
to fight me on
HMRC, you
something.
boxing them like. Just like in the red corner.
No, I won. I won. It's like because they tried to say that I owed them so much money because I was like self-employed. It's like, but I hadn't been self-employed for like 2 years at that point. So I was like, no, go through all of my earnings for the last 2 years. It has been PAYE. Like I owe you nothing. They were trying to like extort me for like 2 grand and like in unpaid taxes. I was like, this ain't happening, man. Like no.
Yeah, something I need to do when I get a chance because yeah, because of Kelly's basically.
Do you do your own taxes?
Yes, I had a.
Because I had an accountant.
I had a kind of accounting company that paid me basically, but they also did the part of my taxes for me, but they overcharged me because HMRC never gave me my I can't remember what the code is called that you get for self-employed, but basically never gave me that.
Your UTR number, your
Yeah,
unique tax
UTR.
reference.
Yeah, UTR. They never gave me my UTR, so I was paying an extra £100 every month. Or every
you were
second.
you were doing you were on an emergency tax code. Then,
Yeah, I was getting
or-
taxed 30% when I should have been at 20. So I'm
They should
due.
have given you that back.
Well, they haven't given me it back yet, but like obviously I've got to fight them on that one. The fact I'm due a lot of money back. But yeah. So yeah, so
Moving on.
I can't remember what we were discussing there. Oh yeah, money on the ground. Yeah. So
Yeah. Pre-game.
if you find money on the, I'm not very strongly agreeing, but I am fairly strong agreeing on that one. Like I'm not right at the end, but I'm close.
I'm not right at the end because it depends on the circumstance of how you happen to come across it. But I'm strongly agreeing.
Yeah, I've just got loads of people in the comments now just going, "Oh, yous are all robbing somethings." So like,
sometimes I've earned that. You know, you've had a bad day. You see 20. That's a kebab.
I mean, here's a
Yeah.
question for you, right? See, you find a
Right.
lottery ticket on the ground, and then you take it home. That's a winning lottery ticket.
I think that's a dubious one legally because it's
Ten-
whoever purchased the ticket.
Yeah, I think legally
it?
it's like even if you find it, you can't cash it
Because
in.
because if it's over anything over 50,000, you have to provide a receipt and it has to be investigated. So if it's over £50,000, they will not give it to you because you can't verify that you purchased the ticket.
Yeah.
They will do everything because when I back when Gosh and I lived in the market, it's an area in Belfast. Like one of the neighbors won like 250,000. She bought a scratch card in the shop she worked in.
Mhm.
But she wasn't working at the time. It was like off hours. Like this went on for like years. They tried to like say no, you're not getting this. But it's like no, I was out of hours. I didn't cheat because like they're trying to say that oh, that you bought this while you were working. Blah blah blah. So like, the lottery will do everything in their power to try and deny you a payout if it's
Mhm.
over 50 grand.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like it's not unreasonable in some ways because like it is a lot of money and it has to be done right. But
Mm.
yeah, like I do get from that perspective where it did like if you're getting accused of something that seems
I mean, strictly speaking, if it's okay for the public to play the system, then the government are allowed to play the system too.
yeah.
It's it's a balance. I'm all about balance.
Hmm. Right.
Right,
Next
moving on.
next question. Right. Video games make you smarter.
100%. Anybody who fights against this doesn't know anything about psychology, the brain, or video games in general. Like, video games have had such a massive influence on my ability to discern puzzles, right and wrong, my hand-eye coordination, dexterity. No, it's just an absolute, and it's been backed up by years of science.
I mean,
Years of science.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I absolutely strongly agree because I do feel like sometimes video games can definitely distract you from the important things you should be doing.
But
Um,
that's not the question though. The question is,
yeah,
do they make you more intellectual? Do they
I
are they
mean,
a
smarter
benefit?
is somewhat of a subjective term.
It's a dubious term, but
Yeah,
there's more benefits because like a lot of your reasonings, like a lot of my discerning ability when it comes to analyzing a situation came from playing Mass Effect.
yeah.
Like
You
just
know what's funny, right? I was thinking about that question before. The first game that came to my head was Mass Effect, but not necessarily
yeah.
for the reason you're about to say. It was for the fact that I think Mass Effect was actually one of the first games ever to have LGBT representation in a video game.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, I always played with Femshep and always hooked up with Liara. Shima chick.
yeah, no, that's weird. So like
Man.
you know, no, I was always a Guy Shepherd, John Shepherd, every time.
I always felt always felt that the voice acting
But
was
that was
better.
more because he was the cover, like he was on the cover of the game.
Well, Mass Effect 3 reversible. I had Femship.
Yeah, and I mean I know then, but like at
Yeah.
that point I've already played the other two games,
No, that's fair.
with regular. So I'm like, oh I see regular male,
Yeah.
Shepherd, so.
Yeah.
Like, cause he was the face of it, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna play with the face. If it was the Lassie Shepherd, then I probably would have played with her instead. But
Mm.
is what it is. I mean, like I said, that was one of the first games that ever had LGBT representation in it.
Yeah.
It was also the first one, I think, a game that actually had nudity in it as well. Not that it's entirely relevant, but I mean,
I don't think I don't that one's that I don't think that's true. Like you had nudity because there was so much like controversy with nudity in games, like
yeah,
dating back to the 90s.
yeah, it was
Are you talking about like actively trying to like create like where it's part of the story where you actually have to pursue a romance and engage in a sex scene? Is that what you
potentially
mean?
like maybe more the graphics go say because it was one of the first I know for the point of view like the actual graphics and stuff like that of it. Like even the
Mm.
first Mass Effect's graphics cutscenes are very very detailed and very very good. Like
Yeah, like at the time they were cutting edge.
yeah, exactly. So like do video games make you smarter? I mean yes. But I'm in agreeing, not strongly agreeing, because I do feel like as well, like when you're trying to do other important tasks or other like, educational things, like I can't lie to
Mm.
you, when I do my exams, all I wanted to do was play other games. So in some ways, they do also distract from that, but it is also about like, self-control in that sense.
Well,
So
yeah, it's the essence of like self control. Like especially now as adults, like
mhm,
I've got a job to do. Like I'm accountable for things.
yes,
So it's a case of like I know when I can sit and just like blast
mhm,
off for what 8 9 hours on
mhm,
Warzone with Errol. Like there are times when I'm fully aware that I do have the time to do this. But as an adult, I know that I can't do that all the time. Like the way I would have, like back when I was in education, like back Halo 3, Black Ops 1 and 2. Oh, I was spent most of my childhood on that.
Yeah, no, definitely, and like I'm not gonna lie to you, there's lots of times where I spent playing the Xbox rather than doing the homework I was supposed to be
Yeah.
doing, and then you rush the homework in the morning when you get to school, and you're like, oh bugger, can't get all this done. So yeah, like this the only reason I'm not strongly agreeing, like yourself, I'm agreeing that they can, but I'm not fully over. Like it's kinda. It's just over the fence. I think it's
Yeah.
very subjective. The fact smarter,
Subjective to what the question means, and like if it's a young child, there are especially like games like Minecraft, they have a lot of benefits. Like
Yeah.
especially with like helping them learn and stuff like that. But with children, it's on the parents, man.
Yeah,
Like gaming has a lot of benefits for people.
in moderation.
And everything in moderation. Like as an adult, it's my choice and fault if I choose to waste my time on a game all day. As a child, that's on the parent. It should be, they should be more educated. Like when you and I have kids, we've been through it, so we know how to sort of like regulate that kind of thing.
If I have kids,
Yeah.
that's another topic.
Baby potatoes,
Yeah,
baby spuds.
yeah, we'll see. So,
Yeah.
well, you know what? On that one, next question, very controversial one. Watching porn isn't healthy. Do you agree or strongly disagree? Do you?
Right. So, uh, ask me the question again. Like I need to be the specifics of the question because it can go either way here.
Watching porn isn't, so is not healthy.
I so if I agree, that means I think it's unhealthy.
If you agree, yeah, you think it's unhealthy.
All right, so I would have to err on the side. I'm not strongly. I'm not like oh, this is the worst thing ever. I'm not strongly disagreeing. Like I'm just over the fence to be on disagreeing because it comes down to moderation. Like any content that you consume, be it like explicit or family friendly, anything has the potential to be damaging to your brain. So it is about like the moderation of it. Like if you're whacking one out like once or twice a week, like it's not doing you any harm, really.
Yeah.
Like it's not affecting you in a You're going there with a goal in mind to accomplish a goal. And then you leave. You carry on. You go about your day.
Like,
you go make some.
I'm not gonna
whip up
lie
some
to you.
food.
Like there was when I did the counselling, there was people I knew that watched porn, and they weren't. It wasn't for masturbation purposes. It was for just to watch it for entertainment.
See, that's why I'm only just over the fence on to disagree because it's about the moderation and how the individual consumes that content.
Yeah, like you see, I would be on the fence if I could be. But I'm probably
you're not allowed to be.
I'm probably in the same.
On me.
I am probably in the same boat as you, where it's a
Yeah.
small disagreement. I think there's been a lot of unhealthy kind of
Unhealthy
representation.
consumption.
Yeah, like there's unhealthy obsession, but there is also unhealthy representation in the sense of like I'm thinking of the best way to word this. There's scenes within certain videos which are not okay, and they don't necessarily address consent in a lot of those.
Yes. Okay. So it depends on the type of like porn that you are watching. Like there are some things that just should not be out there. Like
Yeah.
everybody has their kinks. I understand that, but certain things are just not kosher.
Yeah, I think it's not like I think there's been a lot of rises in the likes of potential kind of rape cases and sexual assault because of
it's almost like
what
that
people
it's blurred
think
your expectations.
Yeah, it's what
life.
people expect it to be. But I also think it's also had the big damaging effects in the sense of expectations, like you said, and kind of what people think something's going to be like and what they're expecting to hear, what they're expecting to
like these are professionals.
see, to what they're. I mean, look at this thing, guys. If you record yourself doing the act, you're not going to look like these guys on cameras. These guys have got lighting.
The crucial thing, you can't smell porn. That's a crucial fucking thing. You can't smell porn. If you could smell it, it would not be as popular. Think about
Out
that
of
one.
all
Let
the
that one
quotes
ferment.
I expected in this podcast, that wasn't one of them. That wasn't one of them.
You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome.
Oh, God's sake, man. Right. Yeah, in the slight disagreement, because I
Yeah.
think the benefit of people discovering who they are through it
Mm.
far outweighs.
I didn't think about that. Like people do like affirmation of sexuality. Like some
Yes,
people might discover
that's
themselves through
that's
that.
where I am in the disagreement part of for the statement of the fact it isn't healthy.
So that's actually pushed me slightly further into the disagree though.
Yeah,
Because I wasn't thinking about that at all.
yeah, I think that is by far the biggest benefit of it, because I think of the amount of people that have, like, say for example, gay men in particular, right? There's been there'd be a lot of because if I say gay women, for example, I feel like that is more socially accepted than men, in many ways.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that.
and a lot of men kind of discovering who they are
Yeah.
through that, through this medium.
Yeah, like
It's
you're just
it's
watching a
helped
bit of
them
like a
discover who
standard
they are.
heterosexual porn. It's like you realize, oh, I'm watching the fella a bit more here.
Yeah, like I mean, the sound effects weren't necessary.
They're always necessary.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that helps a lot in that sense, and obviously since kind of this has become more readily available, obviously a lot more people kind of discovered who they are. Like stuff like bi and all the other terms that come under LGBTQ.
Yeah, the umbrella of the
Yeah,
entire,
so
yeah.
obviously like that's helped massively in that sense. So that's the one biggest benefit that I think. I do also think it maybe goes into better detail than what you did in school with how things are done.
Oh, yes, school is hot. Education teaches you nothing.
No, I mean, let's face it. If you weren't slapping your mate in the class with the dildo, what were you doing? Like,
I can tell you what I was doing, not hitting them with dildos.
I mean, if they're on the table and your mate's right next to you.
I went to an all-boys school, mate. We weren't running around having sword fights with one giant rainbow-colored cocks.
Like the teachers are
what is the education system in Scotland?
Like
you have your haggis and your rainbow dildos.
No one has said rainbow once here. It was you. I said rainbow.
Listen, if you're gonna have a dildo, it may as well be fucking rainbow.
Yeah, because
you're gonna may as well.
Because you're gonna taste the rainbow down there, aren't you? So
advertisement for skills. Taste the rainbow.
Yeah, well, like the teachers at the top trying to show you how to put on this Johnny, and you're like, you're too busy there, like whapping it off the desk. You're smacking your friend in the face, square.
You're just flicking them. Look, I made a balloon.
Like
I'm a unicorn.
Yeah, but this is you actually discover what everything was for and stuff like that through the likes of what was available online. So yes, I am in the disagreement category that it is unhealthy. So
no, that it is not unhealthy. So you disagree that it's unhealthy? So
I disagree with the statement saying watching porn isn't healthy.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm on the same boat.
Yeah, I'll maybe try and title these under the under the video, so it'll make it a bit easier for some people, particularly if I cut it in shorts and whatnot. Yeah. We've asked that one. This one I think's pretty obvious, and we're both going to be in strong agreement here. It's okay for an adult's favorite film to be a Disney film.
I don't strongly agree. I think it's okay. I agree. I do not strongly agree.
I strongly agree because I'm kind of like, well, what does it matter? Like,
yeah, it doesn't matter, but like personally, because I just don't like Disney. I just don't like Disney.
Okay.
Not like any like historical or blah blah blah. I don't like the stuff they put out. I'm not a fan of Lion King. I don't like all that. I've just never liked it.
Fair enough. I mean,
but I do agree that it's perfectly okay. Like it doesn't really matter. Like if your favorite film is Toy Story or Schindler's List, there's no real difference.
Yeah. Like, is Schindler's List a Disney film? No, it's not, isn't it?
No,
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 I was about to say for a second there, I thought you were telling me that it was a Disney film, and
Oh, you've got to save them.
like I was like, Remy, I think you're thinking of the wrong film here.
No, no.
Like,
I'm saying like it doesn't matter if it's like something is super serious, non-Disney, like Schindler's List, or it's like Toy Story.
yeah. I was about to say, I don't think you worded that one right there for a second. I was like,
I'm not saying Goofy was sitting down in the factory with him. That's not what I'm saying.
yeah, no, no, yeah, I'm in strong agreement. It's okay for an adult's favorite film to be a Disney film because like a lot of people have like obviously like right now, like say for example, this might convince you to be in strong agreement, right? So your favorite game potentially could be one from years ago that you have nostalgia feelings with. So if you have nostalgia feelings with a game, it's okay for it to be okay with a film.
It does budge me a little bit more towards it.
Yeah.
But it's just because I just personally don't like that. I just don't like that kind of content.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, in Kanto, like Surface Pressure was a bop. Like that, that's good. Like, I enjoyed the music. Story was terrible, but anything your man, well, Lin-Manuel Miranda or whatever you call him, he was the lead in the musical Hamilton. Anything that guy attaches his name to musically is amazing.
Yeah, like obviously, like Star Wars is now technically Disney.
Well, not technically, it is Disney.
Yeah, technically, the films beforehand.
Use the Force, right?
Yeah, goofy. Yeah, so yeah, it is technically Disney. So yeah, like that's okay, and it's more the stuff that's made now is Disney rather than stuff before. So like obviously like stuff like Obi-Wan series and stuff like that, which was pretty damn good. Like that. You haven't seen it, no?
No.
No.
I haven't seen Mandalorian either.
Oh, Mandalorian is very, very good. It's more the second season than the first. I always prefer series that are like that, where the second season is better than the first, because I think that's quite hard to do. I feel like some TV shows like Game of Thrones, for example, only become really, really good when they get to like their fourth season.
Well, that's because they know their audience. That's because they understand the kind of.
Yeah, well, you thought they did until they got to the last season.
I didn't watch it because I think Game of Thrones is trash. Yeah. I think it's a poor man's Lord of the Rings.
Oh, it was really, really good, and then they messed it up in the last season.
I heard all the controversy about like how terrible the ending was, blah blah blah. But
I mean, we're speaking of terrible endings. I'm gonna bring some people some deja vu of like Lost. Was one of them. That was probably one of the most controversial ones for endings wise.
Never seen Lost.
Or Matrix 3.
Oh God.
Yeah, like,
that one hits too close.
Yeah, like that one. Like don't get me wrong, I actually liked the robots. I liked seeing the robots, but more because I made fun of them rather than the fact that they were good. Like because it was just the fact that they all had their guns sideways. Like why are all their guns sideways? Why?
Because it's early 2000s angst. You know this, man.
Like
you wouldn't steal a car. You wouldn't steal a purse. Why would you steal a video?
Like, yeah, it's just bizarre, isn't it? I mean, you remember those adverts, man?
Yeah. At the start of the hard rock thing with the noir bloody film grain effect in front of it, like you wouldn't steal a movie. Like
yeah.
You heard of Plexmit?
Oh yeah, man. Thinking about them is jeez, that's weird nostalgia. Not necessarily good nostalgia.
No, it's not good nostalgia, but
yeah, yeah. Right. We'll ask the last topic, and we've got another topic to kind of end on. So the last one that you put in here, looking back at when you're in your teens, are you where you thought you'd be in life? Bloody hell, that is deep.
I mean, it's a really hard one for me to answer. Like, I honestly think I'm further than I thought I'd make it, because.
I could agree with that, but that's just because of what I knew what you were like when I first met you.
Yeah, like I was on drugs. I was saying outlandish things. Like I still have like the same sense of humor, but I just know like you shouldn't be saying these things.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, but
this is just bad.
Management has changed you.
Yeah, like I genuinely think that I've come a lot further than I expected myself to be. I did. There was a good period of time where I didn't know if I'd even hit 25. Like so, like the fact that I've passed that, like I'm turning 27 this year. It's I can genuinely say that I'm happy that or pleasantly surprised that I've moved forward in life to a place where I can genuinely say that I'm content as a person. Like I'm engaged. Like um, we have our place together. We have our pets. I'm moving up in the job. It's like everything's sort of like
Mhm.
turning out well now.
Mhm.
Like after like putting in years of work
Yeah.
to like try and like get away from what I was becoming.
Hmm. Like it, like my own opinion on that one, where I'm like, it's very, very difficult one for me to answer, right? Because I changed what I wanted to be multiple times. Like when I was back in school, I was going to be an architect. Um,
I want to be an architect as well.
yeah, wanted to
Like
be a
genuinely. Yeah.
wanted to be an architect. Didn't get the grades I needed, but still went to go about it the long way by going to college first. That didn't work out. They ended up doing programming. That didn't work. Then ended up doing sports coaching, which kind of worked. Like
Because you did go to America.
yeah, like it kind of worked because like that is like number one experience in my life was going out there. Like that, like oh, actually, that or the charity match. Oh, that's a hard one. Like I have achieved a lot, but I'm nowhere near what I want to be yet. It's kind of
Mm.
an odd one, right? Like I have high expectations for myself,
No,
and
like I'm very, very. I'm not where I want to be, but I think I've made it further than I would have at the
mhm.
time.
Yeah, like I thought by now I would have had a lot more stuff figured out, but also at the same time I'm not disappointed because I have done a hell of a lot.
Mm.
And even like doing stuff like I've taught myself everything that I'm doing right now, like setting up the video, setting up the OBS. Obviously I've had help along the way, but at the same time I've taught myself editing. I've taught myself a lot of skills that I'm using today, like a kind of self taught. So I'm not in the group, and obviously I put myself under pressure for this year, but and it's working so far.
I
Obviously,
think it's
still,
unattainable. I do think it's attainable.
yeah. Like we'll touch on that in a minute or two. It's I've done a lot, and I'm quite happy with what I've achieved. Like I explain to people sometimes what I've achieved, and what I've done. A lot of people think I'm a lot older than what I actually am
I get
because
that
of
a
that.
lot as well.
Like, yeah, so like I'm happy with what I've achieved and what I've done because typically I went through a phase where I literally said yes to everything, like literally doing everything that I could possibly have done. The only thing I missed out on was being on stage with Chris Brown, but I think I dodged the bullet with that one. So
Worthless.
yeah, that and in the same night, the guys took the guy who was taking them to the concert took them up on his plane, and then he faked engine failure on the plane, so it made the guys in the back absolutely brick themselves. So
Oh, damn. Okay.
yeah, so I'm glad I missed that one. Yeah, that was a mad story they told me. But yeah, like as you were just saying there, like the fact that I've stated the fact that this year is kind of make it or break it for myself. Like obviously I made the video, the revolution, which is doing mad, by the way. I should add, it's almost at 2K views. So like that video is doing mad, and the fact that I've stated the fact that this has to be sustainable, and the sustainable is very subjective, and some people have definitely taken it massively out of context what I'm meaning by sustainable. And
Yep.
more or less, I just need to be making money. That's more or
Mm.
less what I need to be doing, because then at that point, it's completely within my control how much money I make.
Yeah.
At that point, so
I do think the potential is there, and I told you privately, like I think it is an attainable, very attainable goal. It's just the work ethic needs to be there, and the consistency needs to be there.
yeah, like consistency is obviously like so far, like even with posting today's TikTok, I have posted every single day on TikTok since.
Yeah,
Let me double check. I think it's like the 28th of December. So
that's good.
I posted every single day on TikTok so far, and guess what? We hit 1,000 followers on TikTok because of that. If I hadn't been posting every single day, I would
You
never
wouldn't
have
have hit
made
it.
that. No, wouldn't have
Yeah.
made it. So that was one of the big core factors in that. Obviously, I could be better with what I've made. Like, I maybe use clips that I maybe shouldn't have, and you'll see that in some of the videos that I've produced on TikTok. Although they're longer videos that I couldn't post on Shorts, some of the views in them, like in one of them, I think it's only like 60 views, but other ones are usually like significantly more. So it's kind of balancing act.
Mm.
But one thing I made sure I didn't matter what the content was, make sure you post something every day to give yourself, because you don't post anything, you don't give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm wanting to edit something soon that really where I spend the entire day editing it. Like, I want to spend the entire day editing something. I haven't decided what I want to do, but to really show what I can do editing wise, because I don't think I've had anything yet where I've had the desire to edit it fully. I was thinking potentially, like I said to yourself, about doing custom games on Halo or like
Yeah.
GTA or like something like that where I can really, really branch out. But the thing is, I need content creators to do that. I need people that have
Yeah.
got capture cards. I need people that have got stuff that I could then um take their footage, their perspectives from, um to then make decent recordings. So and then really branch out with what I can do editing wise, because I see a lot of posts on TikTok. Obviously, we expressed earlier, talked about the social media benefits wise. One of the benefits that's going around right now is the beta squad, where they are currently looking for, like, I think it's like 6 new employees, but they're all like 3 of them are video editors. Then there's cameramen and stuff like that. And these opportunities that they're giving to people that are not necessarily in that field already. These are people that have just picked up skills that are willing to give jobs to. As long as you can show what you've done before.
Mm.
So I want something that can at least, if I wasn't to continue with content creation, I would at least have a
You want to still
portfolio.
be in that world.
I want a
Yeah.
portfolio of stuff that I've done that I've really focused on to then give them, and like show what kind of editing I can do if I really put myself to it, which I know I can. Like, I have qualifications in editing that I've never really fully like done. There's a lot of stuff that I can do on Premiere that I've never done. I just haven't yet found the uses for it yet. Um, so yeah,
Well, the only person that's like I said this to you before, the only person that is standing in your way is yourself. Like,
yeah,
it's okay talking about it, but
don't like
do
yeah,
it.
yeah, like I'll be doing a lot of this at the moment. Like that, as long as I'm doing other stuff at the same time, I don't mind the fact that this is stewing. I'm just looking for the right
Yeah.
thing to do.
There.
I mean, there's a lot of content creators that annoy me, like in the sense of
Oh,
like
there. Yeah, there's a lot out there that I cannot stand with a burning passion.
in more in the sense of there's nothing more that I hate than wasted potential.
Mm,
Like
I can see that.
there's a lot of content creators that I've seen that I'm just like, see if you did this, you would blow up, or see if you would just do like be more consistent, or allow yourself to be out there a little bit more. People would love you, and
Mm,
like that stuff like that frustrates me massively when I don't see people like that have got potential flush. Because like there's one content creator that me and Andy obviously used to love, and you probably heard his name a few times, Northwest Nick.
don't know.
He was one of the few people that we saw that are genuinely had it. He just had it. He could have been as big as like Castro or someone like that. He just had this. As soon as you went into the stream, you were you knew that you were welcome. You knew that you were there, and you weren't going to be doing anything else. You were going to be watching his stream,
Yeah.
which is a hard thing to find and is a hard thing to do. But this guy had it, and unfortunately, FIFA broke him. FIFA broke him, and then he didn't stream anymore. And it was one of the saddest things that me and Andy always refer to. Like, this content creator was just so good. He was so talented, but he gave it up because of the game he was playing. And yeah, it
Well,
was
that falls back in the thing I said earlier, um, uh, before the show. Um, if you're not happy in what you're doing and what you're creating, it's not worth doing.
Yeah, like there was other stuff he could like. Genuinely, this was a guy that it didn't matter what he was doing, you would watch. Um, because when you've got it like that, like you've just got that star factor. It's like it's amazing to see, and that frustrates the hell out of me. The fact that he never took that opportunity because he just had something that would have made him a star. Like he
Yeah.
genuinely would be. I think he had potential to be just as big as Castro. And it's frustrating because I'm like, you had that, you had it, you had what everyone is in this Twitch space is looking for, and you had it and you didn't use it, and it frustrates the hell out of me. But at the same time, I do respect the fact that he didn't want to use it, um, because he found a different career, and it was just like, oh, like okay, but don't do that. Do content creation. He had a really good career. He has a really good career. I should add. He's actually, I think he's like doing banking or something like that, and paying a lot, like getting paid a lot of money. Um,
Fair.
but I'm like, stop that. Do this instead.
Make FIFA video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You do a squad builder challenge. Do champs. Pro clubs. No, no. Um, it's just rare to find that, but when you find it, it's frustrating. I mean, you're saying you're about to start streaming soon. What kind of stuff
Yeah.
are you going to be making?
Well, I've always been a big fan of podcasts and stuff like that. Not so much consuming them. There are a few, like the likes of the One Show. There's a guy I like called Pat the NES Punk. He has the CU podcast, the Completely Unnecessary podcast. Like, there's stuff like that. Like I would tune into yours, and so I like that like open platform, almost like a vocal forum.
Yeah.
I like that, but it's like more than actual videos, streaming. Like I love the idea of streaming, like because it's one thing something being edited, but
Mm.
especially when you're there in a live stream. Like one of the guys I watched years ago, Yukis Legion, big in the Dark Souls community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was a moment like that he clipped and it went absolutely viral. Like he was talking about something, and like one of his subtrain things was like combo breaker. So like he was in a specific part of Dark Souls 2, so he was traveling through, and then like combo breaker went off, and this big massive troll just rammed through a wall and just annihilated him one shot. And everybody lost. Like to be there live in a moment
Mm-hmm.
like that that's like I love that feeling. I love that mindset. I want to be able to create moments like that for people, because I don't know. I don't know if I'm better. Like, I think I'm good in the like the podcast space, but
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like, there's a lot of like random things. Like, look at how many times like you and I have been playing games, and just like you come out with something that's just so stupidly funny in the moment. Like, I want to I want to be able to share that moment with people.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I think for me, like, I do a lot of streaming games at the moment, but I wouldn't class myself as a gamer. Like because the only game I really play on stream at the moment is FIFA, or at the moment it's been Pixelmon, but
I'm a big fan of the Pixelmon streams. I need to hop on the server at some point.
yeah, like
I just gotta stop being lazy.
yeah, like at the moment we're building it all from scratch, so it's decent. Team as well. Make sure that you do check out the socials as well. Obviously, make sure that you do subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and you'll see some of these Pixelmon streams very soon. Just check the live tab, and you'll see all the live streams that we do in this channel. So yeah, check them there, and you will obviously see Remy streaming at some point. So make sure that you listen
sometime in the near future.
So 2024, make sure you stay tuned for that.
I'm not Andy. I'm good at timekeeping. If I say I'm gonna turn up, I'm gonna fucking turn up.
Yeah, like yeah. So I think on that one, I think we'll end the podcast there. Remy, thank you very much for tuning in today. And
happy to be here, man.
And,
happy to be here.
Yeah. So you could be seeing a lot more off Remy in the future, provided he stays on time. So
I'm good timekeeping. Like it wasn't my fault that we had the staff do for one of our employees leaving. Like I had to.
It's her. I mean, it's her fault for leaving, to be honest. But
it's
team. Make sure that if you are listening to this on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever, make sure that you do hit that follow button. And if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. It does help out massively. We have been on a massive growth spike. Let's just keep that going right to the moon. Let's keep subscribing. Yeah, basically is the message. Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, as he said. So make sure you subscribe because it does help out, and like the video if you can. But most importantly, also make sure you tune to the next one because I'll be looking to get these out on a weekly basis. So stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys in a bit. Adios.